Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How is everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a really good day wherever you're watching, whatever time of day it happens to be from all around the world. I know we have an international audience, our lovely viewers, as we call them, who watch literally from all around the world, all points of the globe. Our show broadcasts, if you're watching for the first time, we welcome you. This is the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, playing off my background years and years on television and radio and stage and film. And we created this as an oasis to come for great conversations, terrific entertainment, poignant moments. Because we're live, oftentimes surprise moments. Sometimes a cat jumps on the guest's lap. Sometimes a bird flies in and lands on their shoulder. Sometimes a child runs in their room while they're talking. Anything can happen on the Jim Masters Show live. Bringing back the lost art of conversation like Johnny Carson, Dick Cavett, some of the traditional talk show series. We broadcast here from the New York area. The tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. And our guests come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, life in general. And I hope you're doing well. And if you would like to participate in the show right now while the show is live, talking to the live viewers, and it looks like you're doing it already, which is awesome. You can comment in our JMS live Lovity chat room. That's right. We have a chat section when the show is live, and you can comment. You can say hello to each other, which a lot of you do. A lot of you have even become friends, which I think is fantastic, through our show, which is a beautiful thing. I'm all about that. So you can chat in the JMS Lovity chat room. We might even sprinkle some of your comments on the screen while the show is live, which is really special and cool. You could also do super chat, super emoji, super sticker that supports the series as well. That's in chat too. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. Doesn't cost a thing. And when you do that, you're a part of the JMS Lovity family. You're helping us grow and continue to thrive with this series. I started the series 2.5 years ago, and people said, Jim, you're very busy in your professional work. You're doing it just during the pandemic. And I said, no, we'll keep it going as long as you guys are there watching, supporting, celebrating, and enjoying. And that's what everybody's been doing. We reached this international audience, the United States, Canada, and Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Africa, all around the world. And I think it's beautiful. And we hear from all of you. Thank you very much for all the birthday wishes, too. We just celebrated a fabulous birthday weekend. It was terrific. Thanks for the cards, the gifts in the mail, the emails, the texts, the calls from family and friends, viewers, listeners from this show and my professional work, the Facebook messages and Twitter and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and I really appreciate all of the lovity that you have shared my way for the birthday this weekend. We really appreciate it. We're still celebrating and basking in the glow. You know who's basking in the glow of life? Our guest. Now, that's what I call basking in the glow. Ilene Kristen is here, and of course, you know her as an epic television star. Yes, she is one of the most recognizable faces on all of daytime television. You know it, and we're so honored to have her here. But if you just know her from the years and years on shows like One Life to Live and Loving and Ryan's Hope and General Hospital, also on Another World, yes, with Rachel and Mac Corey, I know that one well, and Ada and the whole gang, and Felicia Gallant. You also then know that she's a beloved Broadway star. She starred in the original production of Grease on Broadway, yes, and I saw that, and I remember that well, and many other productions and shows. She was also in Henry's Sweet Henry, yes, and as I mentioned, some of your favorite soap operas: General Hospital, Ryan's Hope, One Life to Live, Loving, Another World, and of course, Grease. She's also Grease on Broadway. And also The Reunion too. We're going to talk about that. She participated with Carol Demas, who you remember also, Carol, as a prolific actress, but also she was in The Magic Garden on Channel 11, the kids show on WPIX. The Reunion for Grease as well. And commercials and movies and television galore. She is truly an iconic figure in broadcast media, but also a sweetheart of a person. She's funny. She's passionate. She's enthusiastic. She's also a brilliant singer and performer. She's put out albums. She performs 54 Below and other places in New York as a wonderful cabaret singer as well. There she is with the original cast of Grease, of course, on Broadway, and The Reunion as well. And really, really fantastic. The movie, remember this movie, Blue Bamboo, in 1994, as Leona Helmsley in Mayor, the musical, and so much more. Even Preacher Man in 1971. I mean, she's been doing this for a long time, and she absolutely loves it. And she takes on every role with vim and vigor. Oh, yeah. She takes on every role with vim and vigor, even when it comes to toothpaste commercials. Case in point.
In this family, we use a fluoride toothpaste. But if a whitener will help get these girls married, I'm all for it.
Try new Gleam 2 with green sparkles. It's got fluoride and brighteners.
I'm the product of a broken home. Mom's for fluorides and Dad's for whiteners.
New Gleam 2 with green sparkles. It helps prevent cavities as well as the leading fluoride. Brightens teeth as well as the leading whitener. It's like two toothpastes in one.
Now, who remembers that toothpaste? I do. Gleam, absolutely. Again, as one of the most famous faces in daytime television history, Ilene has charmed and captivated and perplexed audiences for years. Viewers best know Ilene as Delia Ryan Coleridge, Crane Coleridge on the daytime drama Ryan's Hope, a role which she originated in the show's first episode and portrayed on and off for 14 years. She's also famously known for appearances on the daytime dramas Loving and Another World, as we mentioned earlier. Most recently, she left viewers transfixed in her twice Emmy-nominated role as the word-twisting and outrageous Roxy Balsom on One Life to Live. Her artistic excellence has enabled her opportunities to expand her career path, including multiple primetime guest appearances, roles in several independent films, and professional singing, songwriting, extensive stage work. Also a role in the original Broadway production of Grease, which we mentioned earlier. But also, in addition to that, she's been on a lot of incredible shows, TV series, Deception and Law and Order SVU, some of your favorite shows as well. So this is just really the short list of an epic career that continues with our very, very special guest, Ilene Kristen, coming to us live from New York City. So again, lots of comments built up. It's so nice to see all the enthusiasm, gang. Why don't you join me in welcoming our very special, I'm just taking a look at all these comments. This is awesome. Keep the comments coming, and we welcome you all. And here is our very special guest, Ilene Kristen. Ilene, welcome to the show. And boy, your teeth are sparkling from that toothpaste.
I can't believe you found that. That was just posted, I guess, like last year. I just was so shocked. And I was so happy that it actually was out there. It was really the easiest commercial that I ever did. And it was the easiest and the one that I made the most money from. It's always the difficult ones where you don't make any.
Right.
And I had some really difficult ones where I just had to do horrible things. They'd put rinses in my hair, like brown rinses in my hair. And I'd have to do a shower thing because it was shampoo, and the brown would just. But that one was great.
That was a good one, huh?
Sat there for a couple of hours and went, Mom, I'm the product of a broken home. Mom's for fluorides and Dad's for whiteners. But it's funny to hear how my voice was so high.
Yes, it's very, very perky. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Perfect for the toothpaste commercial. And that goes back to like 1971, that spot. Could you imagine? That
Does
went by in a
indeed.
New York minute, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, how did you get started initially growing up in New York? You're in Brooklyn. I'm out east on Long Island, New York kids here. What were some of those early inspirations for you? I know your father, I believe, was a hairdresser, right? What a
Yes. Yes.
personality.
Yes. He had a couple of beauty parlors, one in Brooklyn called Beauty on a Budget.
And remember when they used to call them
And
beauty parlors? That's
yeah,
right.
Beauty on a Budget. And then he had a store in Manhattan. He also had a store, I think, in Hewlett very briefly.
Yeah.
I actually really got started in Atlantic Beach, in Long Beach, at the beach clubs
Oh, yeah.
because I was a pretty good Latin dancer. And at
Yes.
9 years old, I was dancing with two 30-year-old Cubans.
Wow.
And we played with Tito Puente and Tito
Yeah.
Rodriguez and Johnny Pacheco at all those great beach clubs. And it was quite an attraction, I think,
Yeah.
this little girl. So that was kind of my first foray into the business. And I studied dance, and my first job was on the Bell Telephone Hour, which was a great show on NBC, and it was live.
Yes. That's
And they
right.
had huge stars on the show, and Robert Young was the host.
Oh, yeah. Father knows best. Yeah.
Yes.
Marcus Welby, MD.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Carol Lawrence was one of the
Oh,
guests, and I
yeah.
was one of the little dancers. And Matt Maddox was the choreographer, and Matt was a very famous dancer and became a pretty well-known choreographer.
Yeah.
And it was my first job, and it was just really. Oh, my phone is ringing.
That's fine. No,
That up,
I hear no.
I did disconnect this, just so you know.
You're in demand. That's it. They're seeing you on the Jim Master Show live, and they're already calling to tell you you're doing a bang up job. Thumbs up. You're a lovety already. They already said you're a
I'm a
lovety.
lovely.
That's it.
And then I worked with Michael Bennett as a dancer when I was 15, and I did Henry Sweet Henry. And that was quite an amazing experience because we went to Detroit right after the riots.
Yes.
And
how did that come available for you, Henry Sweet Henry? Because that's an iconic production, huh?
Well, I auditioned for it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my mother had a friend, Joe Bennett, a fantastic dancer who was friendly with Michael Bennett. And he called Michael Bennett and he said, my friend Myrna's daughter is coming in. Just give her a special, look her over,
Look her over.
Look her over. And I ended up getting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, was that a pinch me moment?
Was tough. I got to tell you, I mean, doing the show was tough because when you work with Michael, you're treated as an adult. And at 15 years old,
yeah,
you're not really an adult.
No.
You're not really an adult.
No.
And
we think we are, but we're not. No.
No, I didn't even think I was. But I mean, I knew I was mature for my age. But, and I was on the road without my parents, of course, and rehearsals were not easy because you've got a lot of, as a choreographer and as a director, and the director was George Roy Hill, who actually had done the movie. And there was a lot of conflict between Michael and the director. And the hardest thing about a musical is where the song should begin.
Yes.
And how long the song should be, and the dance numbers. And Michael wanted to put far more dance, and George wanted to do far more book. So every day was like pretty crazy. Songs were flying in, they were flying out. The two girls in it were Robin Wilson and Neva Small, and it was actually very lovely, but it didn't garner the great reviews that we thought it would.
Yeah.
So we kind of came into town and it dudded out, which was surprising because in Detroit, things needed to be changed, and then they were changed substantially for Philadelphia, which it became the Summer of Love in the middle of 1967.
Yeah.
And so things started changing in Philadelphia. Everybody was smoking pot and wearing flowers in their hair. And we were on a curfew in Detroit because there was still a problem after the riots. So going from one city to the other was really mind-blowing. And we did very well in Philadelphia with the reviewers. So we thought we were coming in as a hit.
Yeah.
When you think you're coming in as a hit and you don't hit,
Yeah.
that was tough. It was
Yeah.
really tough.
Yeah. What happened from there then? What was the next step for you?
Well, I worked with Michael. I did several TV shows, one with Robert Morse, who was so talented and so wonderful, and one with Tommy Tune did some of the choreography, and it was with Peter Noon. He played Pinocchio, and that was a big special, and I played a marionette, I believe. Yeah, I was a marionette. And Michael Bennett and Tommy Tune did the choreography. And then I did two Milliken. Milliken was a huge industrial, fantastic clothing industrial at the Waldorf Astoria. And I did two of those with Michael. And then I came to the conclusion that I was a good dancer for someone who was about to turn 18, but that really wasn't where I needed to be going. And I knew that I knew that I acted my way through so many dance numbers
Right.
that I could be a good actress, because
Yeah.
it really was acting that I could do these steps. And once you get past a certain age, you're expected to do a lot more than what I could do.
Couple of backflips and everything, right?
Well, now when you audition for things, I think they ask you if you could do backflips, and you have to tap and hip hop and everything. And back then, if you could snap, which I could,
Right.
That was a plus.
Right.
But I knew that my skill set wasn't good enough to be a dancer.
So the acting became,
yeah.
What about the singing and performances? Were you singing too during all this time?
Yes. Well, I was always singing somewhere.
Yeah.
And by the time I was in my teens, I started singing with a lot of different people. And I think I started writing when I was fairly young, about 19, 20. And I was with some rock groups, and then I got Grease. Well, I was doing some commercials. I graduated from professional children's school.
You did, yeah.
Which was really a great place for a bunch of freaks like us. It was really cool. Very cool place.
Yeah.
And
ever stay in touch with any of those kids from then?
I'm in touch with Barry Pearl, who was in the movie of
Oh,
Grease.
yeah. He was on our show. Yeah.
And my friend Kenny Morse.
Oh, yeah.
Who was Mr. Traffic in LA. He had his own traffic show. Yeah. And so they're still my good friends. Every once in a while, I'll run into Carol Kane. I went to school with her. Yeah. And then after that, I did 1 year at Finch College. And it was a very difficult year. I had a thyroid problem, and I was really not physically well. But finally, by the end of the year, it was diagnosed. But I left school. I felt that college was really not the place for me.
Right.
And I got Grease pretty soon after that.
So how did that happen? How do you go from that to Grease? What was the linchpin? What was the entree, the door opening?
Well, I started auditioning for a lot of shows. Yeah. So I knew that was where I wanted to head. I wanted to do a Broadway show. Yeah. And I was supposed to go in for Godspell, but I didn't really understand the parables. I didn't know what to do with them. So I went to my audition for Godspell, and I left. And I heard a voice in my head saying, go home and learn your material for Grease, because you might get Grease, but you're not going to get this. I was pretty smart about what I felt was in my wheelhouse and what wasn't. Not that I couldn't have done Godspell, but I don't know if I could have gotten through that first audition.
Right.
I
Right.
saw someone so committed to their parable. They were off book and they were acting out this whole thing about going into, like, I think Jerusalem with a donkey and everything. And I went, I don't know what I'm doing. So I kind of found my way out the door and went home and learned a monologue for Grease, and then auditioned for Grease and auditioned 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I got it. I mean, on the 3rd audition.
Literally third time the charm, huh?
It was the 3rd audition, which, they usually see you more than once. I believe Carol Demas, I think they just saw, they kind of knew they wanted Carol. I think a couple of people knew Carol beforehand. And I think they made her come in like once, and Carol is so amazing. And she was so perfect for Sandy Dombrowski. I think they decided, pretty much she was it. I think she might've been there for the last audition. And the last audition, we did a lot of dancing, and I knew that I might have a really good shot at it because I was a fearless Lindy Hop dancer.
Yeah.
I loved the Lindy. I had done it with my father, for 10 years, and I was pretty fearless in that. And I made Tom Harris, who was Eugene in it, was like my boyfriend in the show. I made him pick me up and throw me up in the air and then throw me under his legs. And he said, I don't think I can do that. And I went, you want to get this show?
Yeah, right.
Let's at least attempt it.
Yeah.
Because it might even look funny if we can't even do it right. It might be funny. And because there was like he was like a foot taller than me. We were funny looking anyway. So I said, let's just do it. And we both got it.
Isn't that incredible? And
Yeah.
what was it like? Here you are now on Broadway in the original production of this fantastic, I mean, it's a beloved production even to this day, still is. People fondly love it. And they even did the live performance. I think it was on NBC too.
Right. But I want to show this.
Oh,
This is our book that just came out.
This is
I
awesome.
mean, there are so many incredible stories in this, including some of my stuff, because my first week was extremely difficult for me because I actually never met a cheerleader before. Where I grew up in Brooklyn, we didn't have.
There weren't a lot of cheerleaders, right?
No, there weren't at all. And it was something that I knew I could do for the audition and get away with it. But the first week, I wanted to be one of the Pink Ladies.
Ah.
So the cheerleader words were not coming out of my mouth well at all. And I was a lot younger than everybody. I was about 7 years younger than most of the people in it. But I knew a lot about the 50s because I watched Dick Clark all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Since the time I was very little. So Tom Moore, the director, I'm not in that picture, unfortunately. That's a fantastic picture.
Yeah.
Which Carol Demas and I, unfortunately, are not in.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
Well, we're not in there because we weren't pink. We weren't the Pink Ladies. We were the goody two
right.
shoes.
You were the goody two shoes.
So unfortunately, we didn't make it to the cover of the book, but you should still get the book anyway because it's.
Tell us about the book for people who would love to get that.
Well, you just go to Amazon and go, Grease, tell me more, and you'll find out more about Grease than you ever expected.
All kinds of cool photos and everything in there.
Oh, loads of photos, and everybody's personal story. And everybody's story is completely different. For some people, it was their first show. It wasn't my first show, but, every new anything that you embark on is a kind of scary experience. And we didn't know that we had a hit. Were
you scared? Were you nervous?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Always nervous.
Yeah.
Always nervous. I always
why? Somebody asked me once whether that was a good thing to get the butterflies in the stomach, which I still do when there's big things I'm going to be doing, especially in the industry. And I said, you want those butterflies because that lets you know that you still are passionate about it
Right.
and you really want to do a fantastic job
I
and you
still
want to,
get nervous.
yeah,
I get nervous if I'm doing a reading. I don't get nervous for this so much
yeah,
because
conversational and
conversation comes pretty
yeah,
easily to me, and
right,
I really like it. And I'm not terribly scared of people, and not scared of trying to tell my truth.
right,
Uh,
exactly.
but when I have to sing and remember lines, and last year I did a show off Broadway, and didn't come on till the second act, and you have that whole first act that you're sitting backstage and the butterflies are like working overtime.
Yeah.
They really are.
The more you have to wait sometimes that
Yeah, it
too.
was like waiting to the second act. It was that's scary because you know what's going on, and you go,
Yeah.
I hope they laugh a little more, when I'm out there,
Right. So, of course, Greece, an extraordinary experience. What did Greece do for you personally? How did it change your life? What is some of the residual for you from being a part of such an iconic Broadway production?
Well, it's been a family. We really have a family. Our reunion was like seeing your family, people that you love so much, and there's a shorthand. It gave me, not that I don't have a great family, a blood family, but it gave me this other family. It really was the college. Well, it was about high school students, but it was really the college that I never had, the college experience that I never had. And instead of being in college, I was in Greece. And I'm still extremely friendly. I was up at Carol Demas's house a couple of weekends ago, and my friend Joy Rinaldi and Mary Lou Henner. I've become very close with Mary Lou, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Amazing. And there are really amazing people that were involved in Greece. And Tom Moore, the director, who put this book together with Adrienne Barbeau and Ken Waisman, who is the producer. These are amazing people. They're just amazing. They're just extraordinary. I can't say enough about having these people in my life for 50 years. I feel incredibly lucky. Katie Hanley was the original Marty. Garn Stevens. And, when I'm out there, we do try to get together. We have reunions.
Yeah.
And I'm going out there in October, and I'm going out there for Joy Rinaldi's wedding anniversary. And she was the most, she got to do several roles, but she was basically the understudy, but she could understudy everyone.
Right. Right.
A guy if she had to. She was so extraordinary. So I'm going out for her anniversary. And I left after 2.5 years. I felt like it was time to move on.
Time to go. Right.
And I didn't know what I was moving on to. I had no clue. What I was moving on to. An agent, John Kimball, had seen me in the show, and I ended up going with John Kimball as an agent. And about 6 months later, he said, well, there's a soap opera I want to send you up for. And I said, well, I'm really a comedian, and I don't know.
Personality. Yeah.
I was a I Love Lucy kid.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Kid of television, right?
What?
Kid of television.
Yes, I was a kid at television. That
Dick
was
Van
my
Dyke and all the great
my
shows.
best friend, the Gail Storm Show.
Oh, yeah.
The Gail Storm Show, and
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. And they were like my babysitter.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't need a babysitter. I had them.
You had them.
Mm-hmm. So
You
when
had
he
Buddy
told
and
me,
Sally.
yeah, when he and Buddy and Sally, yes. So when he told me about the soap, I went, well, no. But the casting person on it, Shirley Rich, I had auditioned for her for something. So she called him up and she said, Eileen is really right for this. So I went in and I met with her, and I came in wearing these hippie clothes because I was doing a show where I was playing a blues singer. And it was just like a stage reading, but I was always dressed up as a complete like Janis Joplin hippie. And I went in to see Shirley, and she goes, you know, you could get this, but not in those clothes. So she said, don't wear those clothes when you come back. And so I came back and I met with Claire Labine and Paul Mayer. And Shirley must have done a really good sales job, because when I walked in the room, they were like literally like this. But they hung on every word out of my broken mouth, you know. It was unbelievable. And I had a really good feeling about it. And then I had a screen test for it. And the screen test went very well, but talk about nerves. Because at this point already, when I read the Bible for who Delia was, I wanted it. And I felt like I was the person to do it.
Right.
Then you get really nervous.
Sure. Yeah.
You get really nervous when you sometimes it's better not to totally want something.
Exactly. You know? Right. So then if you get it, it's a surprise and it's a blessing. Now, have you been a fan of soap operas before? Were you watching them? Was your mother watching them?
Oddly enough, I was a fan of Bernie Barrow, who ended up playing the father. I didn't watch a lot of soap operas, but I did watch the one that Bernie Barrow was on, because I thought he was interesting and not your typical soap person at all. Right. So anything that had to do with he was kind of good, bad. He was like a politician or something. And he was kind of on the edge of, you know, and you can imagine my delight when I walked in the first day and there was Bernie Barrow. I couldn't believe it. And I was very excited. By the way, there is a book being written about Ryan's Hope that I'm writing the foreword for, and it's written by Tom Lazante.
Wow.
And that's a tell-all book. Because
is there a title yet to look for?
That's a good question. It will be Tom Lazante, Lisanti, who wrote it, and it will probably say Ryan's Hope.
Yeah.
You know,
that's incredible.
Ryan's Hope, but that won't be out for another year. I'll be posting that a lot, but I'm writing the foreword and for it, and it was quite an amazing experience. And the people who pass through those doors. But people really tell their truth in this, because I read it, and people are very blunt and very honest, whether they felt accepted there or not accepted there, because it first of all, if you had to replace another actor, it was an obstacle course. And fortunately, I didn't have to replace anybody. I created a part. But anybody who had to replace me or had to replace Kate Mulgrew, it was a thankless situation for the most part, because the audience wanted to see you or Kate Mulgrew or Malcolm Groom, and it was hard to replace. It was almost impossible to replace the characters. Not that the other actors weren't good, but this was very specific. And the first 3 years of the show were so intense, and the audience was so hooked into this family and all the people surrounding the Ryans family and Ryan's bar. And by the way, I wore that outfit for about 2 weeks. They had me in that outfit.
Did they launder it in between, I hope?
The top was wraparound and the skirt was wraparound. And it was like, when am I going to get out of this dress? It was the first week or 2 weeks, because I had pushed Frank down a flight of stairs, and nobody was supposed to know that. So I was in having Delia was having a very difficult couple of weeks. And I looked like I went through a revolving door at a, incredibly fast pace.
You pushed
I
Frank
looked
down the
pretty
flight of
much
stairs. Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Isn't
And
that
I used
something?
my makeup was like all over my face. And the first couple of days, one of the producers came to me and he goes, we really should be cleaning up under your eyes. I said, listen, this woman, this child woman is going through so much that I think you need to leave her alone.
Right.
And I really felt like if I was going to do this and do this medium, that I felt like I had to do it the way I wanted to do it.
Right.
And I stuck by my guns.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and the
Fantastic in
audience
the role. You
was so
absorbed the role.
perplexed by Delia.
Yeah.
And she got under their skin immediately, and they wanted to know what the hell is going on with her. So my instincts were correct.
Yeah.
About where I wanted to go with this. But it was a very difficult job. You had new lines every day, and you had very little time to.
And the scripts I always heard were thick and lots of material and right.
Yeah. That's Ash Adams, by the way. He played my son starting in 1986 or 87, and he was great. We're very, very, very good friends to this day. He's doing a lot of documentaries. Oh God, I remember that cover.
That's something, huh?
Yeah, wow. You did your homework.
We sure did. I can't believe that you pushed Frank down the stairs, but sometimes, well, no, because sometimes, what goes around comes around, I guess, because
he was cheating on me,
Well, Pat then pushed you down the stairs, case in point.
Did
Our being together has been the biggest dream of my life. You're my whole life, Patty. You keep me alive. All I hope is we can stay just like this, forever and ever. Patty, wait for me! Patty! Patty, stop. Please. I love you so much. Don't be mean to me, please. Oh, I'm so glad you're all right. You don't know what you put me through tonight. I've been looking all over for you. I haven't been able to find you. This has been the worst nightmare of my life, but it's over now. You're okay.
I'm not okay.
Honey, nobody would help me find you, but I knew if I looked hard enough, I would be able to.
Yeah, I don't feel.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not angry. You don't have to worry. I'll just take you home, and you can get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow you can wake up and you'll feel better. And then I can make you French toast. I got this new recipe out of this magazine, and I'll get the kind of syrup you like, all right?
Dear, I can't come with you now.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All you have to do is just lean on me. You know how you took care of me when I was sick? Well, I want to do the same thing for you.
Try and listen to me. I'm no good to anybody the state I'm in right now, and I have to stay here and get some help. And then you go home, and I'll be there as soon as I can.
No, wait, I don't want to go home by myself. I don't want to be home alone. I want to take you with me, okay? I'm your wife, and we belong together.
Trust me.
No, Patty, wait a minute, please. Please don't understand. I don't want to be alone. You have a lot of friends. I don't. I have nobody. I have nobody but you.
If you love me, you'll leave me alone.
Don't you love me? You said that you would love me. And you said that you would stand by me, and you said that you would take care of me forever and ever. Patty! Patty, wait! Patty, please wait. Don't go, please.
Stop smothering me!
I guess in soap operas, what goes around comes around.
I didn't remember that he did that.
Pushed you down the stairs. Oh my God! What's that like? Would you get pushed and you see you lunging forward? Are you then like hanging onto a railing or something? And
I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know if I don't remember. I don't even remember that.
Maybe you
scene.
actually did fall down those stairs, and
I didn't. I mean, they might have gotten a stunt person if they show something going all the way down the stairs, because it wasn't me. I mean, I was
up to a certain
fairly
point.
flexible, but they didn't want to put you in any kind of jeopardy. But wow, you can see that those scenes were very long, and they were very
dramatic and
very
draw you in.
dramatic and hard and a little repetitive at times. And it was you really had to keep your focus.
Yeah.
Well, that was an early scene. That was probably 1977. Wow.
Yes, that was 78, but
Oh, it
then
was 78.
in
Okay.
77, you were confronted for a particular reason by Mary.
You are the most destructive person I have ever known.
Oh, no, Mary, not you too. You don't know what I've been through this morning.
You're sick, Delia. You're so obsessed with yourself and what you need and what you want that you do anything to get your own way, and it doesn't matter who gets hurt in the process.
All I've done is love Pat. I don't think I've committed any kind
You
of a
can't
crime.
love anyone. You wouldn't know where to begin. You have used my family for years. My parents and both my brothers, and for a long time, me. And the only reason you keep getting away with it is because everybody's so sympathetic about your awful, deprived childhood. Only you know what? It doesn't matter. Why really doesn't matter. What counts is what you are. And what you are is a lying, manipulative, selfish, self-indulgent, destructive, over-emotional little witch.
And you are perfect. You are smart and brave, and Mary always takes care of herself. Well, some people aren't that lucky, Miss Mary Wonderful.
Oh, luck doesn't have anything to do with it, dear. Taking care of yourself is hard work. It hurts, and it's scary, and it makes you very tired. On the other hand, I should think it'd be a lot easier than going around half hysterical all the time and lying and playing games and getting yourself pregnant in order to make somebody else take care of you.
You really hate me, don't you?
Yeah. Save the tears for somebody else, Dee. They make me want to slap you.
In fact, you've always hated me. And you know why? Because you can't stand your two brothers being in love with somebody other than you. And what's really is a pity is that you couldn't have married Frank. Because the two of you are the only people who are perfect enough for each other.
I'm not perfect, dear. And I'm not so wonderful either. Just at this moment, I'd do about anything to get you away from Patrick and to get you away from the rest of this family. But the only answer I can come up with involves homicide. And I don't think you're quite worth the risk.
You better not say any more. And you better take that back, because we're going to be sisters-in-law for a real long time.
Dramatic music and fade to black.
Oh boy, I think my acting's gotten better since then.
But when you're a daytime star, and I said in the beginning, one of the most recognizable faces on daytime television, there are legions of fans who are in your corner, who root for the character, who love, the actress or actor performing, and you get this following, this fan base where they are literally hanging on to every move, every word, everything you're doing, the scripts, everything. What was that like for you? Now you're on, a major soap opera, and you're this, prominent character in the series, and you hear from the viewers and the public and all the fanfare. That must have been a whole different thing, and kind of.
It was a whole different thing.
Yeah, what's that like?
All of a sudden, you're known. You walk down the street, and you're known, and people know you. They know they know your character's name, but sometimes they know your name. And that happened within 2 weeks of the show being on the air. That everywhere I went, people recognized me. And that was very different than doing Grease, where you kind of got known in the business, and every once in a while somebody would see you on the street and say, "Did you play Patty?" and everything. But there was nothing like being on a soap, and all of a sudden, and a very popular soap. And I went from not being known at all to being extremely, extremely well known, and that was pretty wild. And I like people, so it was really a great way for me to just meet people. And I met a lot of people, and they became friends.
Right, exactly. Which is really, really cool. When that happens, you get these relationships, and you have an opportunity to really foster those relationships and keep those friendships going. And sometimes you end up working with people that you worked with years ago again. That
Yes.
happens a lot too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
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 It does. I mean, there are a couple of cases of that. I don't recall that I've worked with people. It's kind of, crossed over, and yeah, you get to meet a lot of people. And you really
Going
do.
back even a little bit further, back to 71, Preacher
Oh,
Man.
no.
Wow.
You're killing me here.
What
Now
is that?
that
Yeah.
poster actually was not from my version of that. Oh, there we are. That's me.
There's a couple out there.
That other
You're
one,
in the
I'm
front,
not even
right?
sure. I don't even know what to say, except I played a character named Mary Lou Crabtree, and she was a bad girl because she ain't never been baptized.
Ah.
And it was kind of a takeoff on Elmer Gantry.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say
It was
about
an
that.
interesting period, right? Right. An
But I
interesting
did have a song in it called
You did.
I've
Yeah.
Been Saved by the Preacher Man. And I've been saved by the preacher man. Hallelujah. I've been saved. No more sneaking out at night. No more something, something. I'm going to do all the good I can. I've been saved by the preacher's hand. Hallelujah. I've been saved by the preacher man. Oh boy.
Isn't it funny how it just comes back to you?
It's weird.
One of the great roles we'll talk a little bit more about the soaps, but you had this fantastic opportunity to take on Leona Helmsley in this and
Yes.
years ago. Tell us about what that was like.
Well, I was scared. Her ads were so kind of homogenized, and it looked like, I didn't know what her speech pattern would be like from these ads, because they were so kind of elegant. And
Right, exactly.
so when I got the job, they sent me a tape of her on 60 Minutes, and it was a great moment, because the first moment of the tape, she's going, Harry, there's a spot. Harry, there's a spot up there. And I went, okay, all right, get me the wig. I know what to do with her.
Yeah.
And, she was a Long Island woman. She actually, opening night, she recognized my father. And she said to him, I know you, but I've seen you with less clothing on, meaning he was wearing a bathing suit most of the time that she saw him.
Mm-hmm.
So Leona and I, she thought I was very funny. I had this little wig just like her, and I wore a Chanel suit, and I did this monologue, and this was in 84. I did a monologue about how Times Square was going to be like a shopping mall. And so at the time, Times Square was a mess.
Right.
And I'm talking about all these stores, and, how everybody will come and, spend their money, and like, who knew what was going to happen, to 42nd Street and the whole Times Square area.
Transformation.
So, yeah, it was really visionary.
What was the feedback from taking on that role too? I know it was, critically acclaimed.
The show got very good reviews.
Yeah.
I was very honored to work with Charles Strauss, the composer who wrote Annie and wrote Bye Bye Birdie and wrote Golden Boy, and one of the best writers not just for musical theater, but just in general. Fantastic writer. And Warren Leight, who's a very funny writer, who now is the producer of Law and Order SVU. Warren is a wonderful writer. He wrote a great show called Sideman.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a wonderful cast of people. And we really only ran for about a year. Because, you know, after Koch won his third term, unless they were going to rewrite the show, it didn't seem relevant anymore.
Right, exactly. That was then of that time. Definitely.
But there's some wonderful music in it, and wonderful people. Nancy Giles, who's on the Sunday morning show, was in it. She played Bess Meyerson, which was wonderful to have a Black woman playing Bess Meyerson. Yeah. And there was just extraordinary people in it. It was really wonderful.
You know, also, in addition to Ryan's Hope, General Hospital, too, came along. Tell us about that.
Well, before General Hospital, I had the most wonderful 10 years on One Life to Live.
One Life to Live, yes.
And I have to give a shout out to all the One Life to Live fans. And
oh, yeah.
It was the most incredible 10 years. I got the job on the day before 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And that job meant a lot to me. And it was the perfect character. Roxy Balsom was the perfect character for me to be playing at a time that was so difficult for people. And it was such a funny and wonderful character. I felt blessed. I felt like I was in the zone. Everything that had been very difficult about doing a soap opera before became much easier doing this particular type of character. First of all,
what do you think that is? What was?
Well, I didn't have to cry all the time, and it was a very funny character.
Yeah.
And you know, I always say she had 6 inches of hair on the top, and 6 inches of skirt, and 6-inch heels, and it just was really, really an enchanted 10 years from beginning to end. Everybody on it was so great. Everybody wanted to rehearse and just be as good as they could be. And the same thing with Ryan's Hope. The discipline from people like Helen Gallagher, Ernie Barrow, and Daniel U. Kelly, and my dear friend who passed away, Nancy Addison Altman, one of the most brilliant, beautiful actresses, and Kate Mulgrew. These people were so talented. People don't understand how difficult it is to do a soap. They really don't. And there she is with all that. I brought my own hair pieces in, and we really
you brought a lot to that character. You really did. You bring a lot to everything you do, but
thank you.
That character, you really brought a lot of energy, and she's beloved, right?
Yeah. I think people really loved Roxy a lot. I'm not saying that I don't miss Delia, but I really miss Roxy because she, you know, when times are oddly difficult, I think I really need to behave more like Roxy.
Well, I was going to say, is Delia more like Eileen? Is Roxy more like you?
I think Roxy is more like me.
Is more like you, yeah.
Because I'm very, I'm a Leo. I'm pretty gregarious. Delia was so, you know, insecure. And, you know, I was lucky. The family that I came from, my sister and I were incredibly well adjusted, and there was very little drama in our household. So, you know, there I was doing drama as Delia and having to cry a lot. And that did not come naturally to me at all. You know, I really wanted to make people laugh. Fortunately, the last 4 years of Ryan's Hope, I got to do some really funny, very funny things. So, but Roxy kind of was like a fantasy role for me. And I had done a character like that a little bit on stage, and to get to do it on television was such an honor. When I did General Hospital, I played Delia, and it was kind of a combination of, because the writers on the show they had been writing One Life to Live. Some of them really didn't know, there I am, they didn't really know Delia that well, so it was kind of a combination. And there was Orion's Bar on General Hospital. And I wasn't there very long, unfortunately. And I thought I would be there longer. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it was a good experience. Very different doing a show out in California.
Yeah.
Very different experience. People don't like to rehearse as much.
Which you're used to with theater and that background.
Theater, all I did was rehearse, and all I did was run lines. Like, I remember when I used to work with Linda Dano, we would come in and we would just run lines back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and,
Yeah.
I had a scene with her that was so funny, but it was funny because we knew it so well by the time that we got to taping. And that was the scary thing about doing General Hospital, and I was not doing it during the pandemic, but I found that people were not around to rehearse with. I don't know where they were.
Right.
I hit the floor, and one of the actresses came down, and I had not rehearsed with her, and she looked at her script and she went, "I didn't realize I had so many lines." And I'm thinking, this is your job.
This is what you do.
We're supposed to rehearse this. Now we're going to be winging it. And I kind of know my lines, but because I read the script.
You read the script, yeah.
But I love working with Maura West. That's a woman with high, working ethics.
Yes.
She works very hard.
We have a scene actually from General Hospital with Delia. We'll take a look at that. Yeah. See what we dug up.
Welcome to Ryan's. You know what you want? Hello, Mother. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. Next time, try to say hello instead of sneaking in here and hiding behind a menu. What are you doing here anyway, Ava? Just remember, we make it look like a robbery gone wrong. In the meantime, I'll be working on my alibi. You had a daughter visit her mother? Visit? You haven't visited me in years. Last time I told you who your father was, you didn't want anything to do with me anymore. Maybe it's time we fixed all that, huh? Family is the most important thing. You've been on your feet all morning. Take a load off. Oh, yeah, that would be great. But I gotta get rid of this stuff. So excuse me. Sam, it's me, Delia. This is really important. I hope you get this message because we got a real Mayday. Avery turned up here completely out of the blue. So we gotta dump the whole plan. And if she sees you in silence, we're gonna just blow the whole thing. There you are. Have a seat. Isn't this nice? Little mother-daughter bonding time. Sure, anything you say, Ava. You sound so enthusiastic. You know, Ava, I have tried to bond with you for years, but you never returned any of my phone calls. And you never sent me one picture of my grandbaby. Well, she's hardly a baby any longer. Well, whose fault is that? Mother Nature? I'm just saying I would like one shot of my granddaughter, please. You guys. I'll send you one, I promise. So is all forgiven? You keep looking at the door. Because I got a job here. You know, I got customers. I sit them down. I ask them what they want. Water, coffee. You're lucky to have you. given any thought to reviving that nightclub of yours? What was that called? Delia's Crystal Palace.
Can we talk about this some other time? I don't know if you noticed or not, but I got a lot of customers here.
You are a dedicated waitress.
Oh, that I am. You know, you just got into town, so why don't you do a little sightseeing, go to a museum or see a Broadway show? Better yet, why don't you take a buggy ride around Central Park? It's really lovely this time of year.
It's freezing outside. I don't remember you being so interested in NYC tourism. Mother, are you trying to get rid of me? Not exactly the welcome I was hoping for. In fact, it sort of seems like you can't wait to show me the door.
It's really crazy, Ava. Why would I want to get rid of you?
There were
a lot of possibilities for
yeah.
that mother-daughter relationship. I'm kind of surprised they abandoned it.
What's great about you and everything you do is you're almost like somebody next door. You're so real and believable and authentic in everything you take on. You really embody, the essence of the person that you're portraying. But there's little sprinklings of who Ilene is in these roles, and you can see it shining through. But you're just so real. I mean, it's as if I could see how everybody would want to be a friend and everybody feels close and attached because you're just so open and honest and authentic in your roles, which I think is fantastic. Not always easy to achieve because you're acting, but yet it doesn't seem like you're acting. You're really the character.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And it's, you're under a lot of stress there because they just, we used to have a good amount of rehearsal on Ryan's Hope in the course of the day, so that by the time that we get to tape it, we'd be able to, run it. We had a regular run through and then a dress rehearsal. But on General Hospital, it's pretty much like they block it, boom, they start taping, and it's just, it can be a little scary. It can be a little scary, but I really, as I said, I really loved working with Mara, and I really felt, and as I said, it was kind of a combination of Roxy and Delia, because it was really without the desperation of Delia written in it, it became something else.
Right.
Also my voice is so much lower than it was, which is good. I like the fact that I have a low voice, but it's so shocking to hear the difference between my beginnings as Delia and my later,
Exactly.
Delia.
A couple of the viewers who are watching live, they're all saying hello, they're welcoming you, and they also have already called you a lovety. Walter says he wanted to see more of you on GH. Really thought they'd bring her back for Kiki's funeral. And some have even asked about, please ask her about the final episode of Ryan's Hope, including the Danny Boy scene.
Oh boy, that was a really hard day. First of all, I never overslept ever until the last day. Slept through the alarm, or the alarm wasn't on. Ash Adams, who played my son, and his brother was staying here because he already gave up his apartment. We all overslept, which was really weird. And there was a blizzard, not a snowfall. There was a blizzard.
Almost as if those were messages that they don't want it to end.
We ran all the way there in the snow, which was a hideous experience, from the West 70s over, running in the snow to 66th Street. I can't even tell you. And my hair was in, like, it had been braided, like this thing that they do. It looks like it was braided and then taken out. And I got to the studio and my hair was, it was knotted all together. It was like dreadlock together. It was
not a good hair day.
not a good hair day and not a good day. I mean, I never was late a day in my life to anything, and I'm late the last day.
Yeah.
And I had to get into that gown. I had this beautiful gown, and they had to somehow, I don't know what they did with I don't know. We didn't wash my hair. We just
did some magic.
It was pretty crazy. And when we were singing Danny Boy, they didn't have I don't think they had the lyrics up on the prompters. I never used the prompters except for maybe if there was a song or something or a telephone conversation. And I don't believe they had Danny Boy up. And we all knew the first verse and none of us knew the second. It was, and it hurt to sing it because that would be the last time we were going to do that.
Yeah.
It was very surreal. The last day was complete for so many reasons, was surreal. It hurt. I mean, it really hurt. And it was a shame. It was really, and I don't think we were the show that was supposed to go off the air. I think Loving was actually the show that was going to go off the air. And somehow Agnes Nixon got them to switch that around.
We were on Loving as well too. What was that like being?
Oh, that was, I got to tell you, that was fun. And I played a character named Norma, and she was from Brooklyn. And I thought I'd only be on for a couple of weeks, but there I was. And the greatest thing about it was that my boyfriend in it was Walter Bobby. He's now a famous director, but we did Grease together. He played Rump. He played Roger in Grease. And working with Walter, doing a soap, playing boyfriend and girlfriend was, he used to say to me, they're actually going to pay us for this, and it was so much, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. A lot of people have never seen those clips because they're not really on YouTube. I have a whole box of Norma and Wally tapes that I'm gonna, have to get on YouTube because they're hysterical.
Yeah.
We really had a great time. Wonderful.
On Ryan's Hope, I believe you were also the woman in the fur coat. Case in point.
I beg your pardon. Hi, I'm Mrs. Coleridge. Do you know where my husband is, Dr. Coleridge?
Oh, I believe he's in emergency surgery.
How long is he going to be?
Oh, well, that's hard to say. Can I give him a message?
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, why don't you tell him... No, why don't you take down a message, okay? Write it down. Tell him that I'm with Bobby. Now, Bobby is my brother. Tell him I went over the Ryans. I wanted to give little John his Christmas presents. And he could call me at home, or he could call me over there. But maybe he should call there first, and then he could come over. But if he's late, he could meet me at home. It's fine. And then maybe,
Excuse me, may I have Mr. Desmond's chart, please? Thank you. I'll be in the medication room.
All right. Excuse me.
Yes?
I just heard you. You are Tom's nurse, aren't you? How is he?
Well, his condition is stable.
No. I mean his head. Look, I'm sorry. Maybe I should explain. I'm a member of the family. My husband is Dr. Coleridge.
Oh, of course. Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Coleridge. I just can't give you any more information.
You are his nurse, aren't you?
Yes, and I really have to be getting back to him. He needs some medication.
Medication to calm him down?
No, for pain. Mr. Desmond had a severe injury.
No, I know about that. I'm talking about in his head. Look, it's very, very hard trying to get information in this hospital, even with connections. Now, is he crazy or what?
Look, Mrs. Coleridge...
See, I knew it. I told everybody. Nobody would listen to me. I said that he was a little bit off. I told that to Faith. I mean, she's the doctor. She should know. Now, is he psychotic?
Mrs. Coleridge, look, the doctors don't know whether his problem is psychological or physiological. They're running more tests.
Well, what do you think? Do you think he's going to get better, or you think he should be put in an institution?
Mrs. Coleridge, I appreciate your concern, but I cannot discuss my patients. You'll have to talk to his doctors. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, well, you should get his medicine. Look, I'm sorry I kept you.
I look good in fur.
I tell you.
Fur,
but you look good in it. Absolutely. With the hat. It was like a pillbox hat or something, right?
It was Fitch. It was Fitch fur. It was beautiful. There was a security guy that would watch that coat wherever it went.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually a beautiful coat. It really was. And wow. And that actress, I believe that actress is Joyce Riebling, the last nurse.
The last nurse, yeah.
Yeah, we ended up doing some reading of some play. I know her name is Joyce. Joyce Riebling, I believe. Wow, that's really
taking it back a little bit. You also were over on NBC with Another World, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it's so interesting because my
Victoria
boyfriend,
Wyndham and Constance Ford and that whole fantastic gang. Yeah.
The amazing thing about that is, though, and it's more special, that job, than I thought, because my boyfriend Gary Donatelli, who directed One Life to Live, he was directing Another World, and Gary and I were just friends. And I ran into him on 72nd Street, and I was not working. I had just finished doing a play, but I was not working, and he was working on Another World, and he said, there's this part coming up of the senator's wife or something. She's a bit of an alcoholic, and he said, you'd be right for it. Do you have a card? And I didn't. So I ripped off one of my checks and I wrote it out to Elmer Fudd for $1 million. And I gave him my phone number because I thought maybe he wanted a date. I wasn't really sure. But
Elmer Fudd.
But then about 6 months later, I got a surprise call asking me to do Another World. And I had completely forgotten that Gary had suggested that to them. And he said when he suggested it to them, they went, of course, we'll get Eileen. Of course. And but then it didn't happen for a while. And that job was a lifesaver in a lot of ways because I needed a little bit of dough. And it was just, I worked with Anna Holbrook. That was great. And I worked with Daisy Egan. And that was great. And I was also doing a play at the same time with the Barrow Group. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had all this work. But, Gary and I lived together, and we were in conversation one day, and he was mentioning to somebody that he had suggested me for Another World. And then I went, oh, my God, that's how that job happened, because I didn't really understand why they called me all of a sudden.
Right. And that was a great, it's amazing, only a few soap operas left now, right? What do we got?
And they're all in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and General Hospital. Pretty much it,
That's it. But I did a show that really should have gotten picked up, and it may still. It was called Melange, and it was a combination comedy and soap opera. And I did it with Morgan Fairchild, and that had some possibilities. Melange. Tom Dangora produced it and wrote it, and Gary was one of the directors. And we had a pretty interesting time doing the pilot on that. And we'll see. It's not over till it's over.
So that's something that may still come to fruition then, huh?
You never know.
That's cool.
You never know. But it's a really, Tom is a very good writer.
Yeah. And
he really understands the genre. And working with Morgan Fairchild was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Totally a blast.
Yeah.
So
Tim is hoping for a Ryan's Hope reboot.
Not going to happen, I don't think. First of all, Claire and Paul are no longer alive.
They're gone, right?
Everybody involved and Mary Munisteri is not alive, and Claire's son is not alive. Eleanor, her daughter Eleanor is, but no, it's just, it looked like there might be, when SoapNet was alive and kicking,
right,
the possibilities of being able to do something like that, or doing like a 2-hour Ryan's Hope movie, seemed very possible.
Right.
But, and SoapNet had so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't know why Brian Franz decided to implode it, but, he kind of he ended One Life to Live, and he ended All My Children. And that was a Brian Franz decision, pretty much, because we were doing okay in the ratings, particularly One Life to Live was doing okay. And it was quite a shock. And
I remember even with Another World, I remember Victoria Wyndham going to bat to try to save it up against the network and the folks that wanted to take it off the schedule. And it was, still doing well. And she had been Rachel Corrie all those years, and she went to bat for it. And I think it might have extended it a little bit more.
It might have.
But then 1999 came, and you already had Constance Ford was gone, and Douglas Watson was gone, and some of the other central figures were gone. And then the soap itself was gone. Did soaps, which you were epic in and widely known for, but did they help you in certain ways and hinder you in any certain ways, typecasting, that
It
type
did both.
It did both.
They did both. They did both. I considered myself a comedian, and when you're known for doing a soap, that it cannot get you very far sometimes in the area that you really think that you're the right area. And because people knew me so well from them, and that's where they wanted to see me. So it's very tricky. On stage, I've been able to do exactly what I want to do, but I've not, on television, I've not quite been in the area where I want to be. And it could be because of the soap. I don't know. Life's not over yet, but
quite a bit of television too. Law and Order and Law and Order SVU. And
I've never done a sitcom.
But
now that doesn't make any sense. And I've been up.
Norman Lear is still around. Call him now.
Well, he's great. I got to meet him also.
Did you? What was that like?
Yeah, I got to meet him, and that was, and we kind of bonded because his father was somewhat of a gangster ne'er-do-well, and my grandfather was a bit of the same. And because it was my grandfather, he might have known Norman Lear's father. And we kind of had this bonding moment, and talking about that. Because my father had a great deal of shame about his father's behavior. And Norman had a lot of shame about his father. Yeah. And it was just this very poignant moment where I was able to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
And
it was like a bonding moment.
It was a bonding moment. He's a beautiful man. I mean, wow. I don't know if we'll see the likes of him again. But he's still with us, and
Yeah. You also were in Unforgettable, HBO's Show Me a Hero, The Good Policeman, Third Watch, The Sopranos. What was that like?
Well, The Sopranos was a great experience. It was just a small little role, but I was smoking a cigarette, and I worked with Lorraine.
Yeah.
And Lorraine Bracco, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And we kind of knew each other from around town. And she had worked with an ex-boyfriend of mine in a movie. And I think she had watched me on the soap way back. And we kind of bonded. And it was it was kind of a great experience. You know, we kind of like played enemies because I wouldn't put that cigarette out, and she wanted me to put that cigarette out, and I wouldn't do it. You know? It was just a small part, but people remember that scene.
Yes, and you did something similar in 1994 in Blue Bamboo.
Well, it was a cigarette, but I think it was a different kind of cigarette.
Well, that looks like something fancy schmancy there, huh?
Yeah, I played an agent who sent Laura Linney on a job to like Thailand, and she ended up killing somebody by accident. And I was kind of like her agent pimp.
Yeah. Now, how do you like film versus stage and television?
You know, when you do just a guest spot on a nighttime show, it's difficult because they put you in like a little trailer, and it can be really cold outside, and it's just very different experience. You don't really get to work with the people beforehand. You gotta it's just different. And when you work on a soap, it was 3 cameras, so everything is happening all at once. So it's not like your close up, my close up. And then when I did Unforgettable, Poppy, what's her name? Poppy Montgomery?
Montgomery.
You know, she was she just had a baby, so sometimes you'd have to do a take with her stand-in. And I thought that was really odd. Not fun. You know, I preferred doing 3 camera because it was everything is happening all at once. Everybody's acting at the same time.
And you remember who created that, right? Full circle, what you mentioned earlier. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz with the I Love Lucy, that whole 3 camera idea.
That's why I wanted to do a sitcom, because I wanted to do something like a Norman Lear show, because it was the area I felt like I was really used to working in.
You would be, yeah.
Kind of thing. I've been up for a couple of parts for Aquafina's show, Nora from Queens, and my friend Lori Tanshin is the grandmother on that, and she's really having her, you know, she's in heaven doing that. And I would like, you know, I'd like my 3rd act to be some kind of outrageous part like that. Maybe I could play Lori Tanshin's best friend. You know, I've been up for it a couple of times, and then they ain't buying it, but you know.
Maybe it can be in a reboot of Alice with Linda Lavin.
Are they doing a reboot?
I don't know, but that would be a cool idea.
So.
I don't know.
I liked Alice. I like that show a lot. But you know, anyway, but I want to make sure that I want to give my friends some, plugs here.
Yes.
This is my friend Nelson Aspin, and he's got this great book out about what he did during the pandemic. But I'm going to be performing with him at the Green Room on 42nd Street. I'm just doing like 2 numbers of my own writing, my own songs that I wrote, and we're going to do a song together, and it should be fun. He's really a terrific guy. In fact, I bet your audiences in Australia know Nelson. He has had a lot of talk shows there. Anybody commenting on Nelson Aspin?
Nelson Aspin from Australia. Wow.
He's American, but he's pretty famous
in Australia. America. That's cool, huh? So when is that happening?
That is happening October 7th at the Green Room.
Green Room, yes.
And that's on 42nd Street. It's in a crazy place called the Yotel.
Oh, yes, the Yotels. Yeah.
It's in that building.
Yeah.
And I think it's at 7:00. And and I'm going to be doing some songs. I have an album out of all original songs called I'm Not Done With You Yet. And that's on Amazon. There. Great. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's on Amazon. It used to be on iTunes, but for some reason, I think it's temporarily off of iTunes.
Is it on Spotify?
It's on Spotify. I believe it's on Spotify. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll be doing a couple songs from that. And I want to give a plug to my friend Cindy Thrall, who's got this great single out called Must Read Well. And that can be found on, I believe, iTunes. It's just a single, but I have to say it's a great song. And
we dug up this too.
Oh, wow.
That goes back. Tell us about that.
Okay. So I was with a Brazilian samba band at SOBs. And through that, I started working with a fantastic musician named Kenny Mazer. And we wrote this song called Giveaway. And we used a lot of Brazilian percussion. We used a lot of those Brazilian percussion players. It's not really a Brazilian song, but it is kind of a dance song. Oh boy, that was a long time ago.
That's
Wow.
cool. Yeah, the Brazilian sounds are awesome. You love performing, right? You do cabaret shows, a lot of different things. Tell us about that side of you that the television viewers, the film viewers might not know as much about, Ilene.
About my theater stuff, or
about the singing and the performance, songwriting. Yeah.
I write now with a writer named Scott Yanni. He produced my album. I've written with William Gallison, who's a great harmonica player. I've written with David Spinoza, who is a very, very famous guitarist. And I don't consider myself a singer so much as a thinger. Thinger. I have a thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's unique. Since the pandemic, I haven't done my whole show, but I will eventually. I've been sitting in with Susie Mosier. Has this great show that she does at Birdland.
She was on our show recently. Yeah,
about every 3 months, I'll do a song there, and that's been great. And Carol Demas and I have been doing some stuff together. And Carol is so amazing and such an amazing singer, so amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in awe of her, like 4-octave range. I've got an octave. It's not a bad octave, but
it's a good octave, and you're hanging on to it.
It's a good octave, I guess.
It's your octave.
But I love music, and I think I'm a pretty good songwriter, quite honestly.
Yes.
So I will be doing more of that. But if people are in New York City and they want to come see it, Nelson Aspen puts on a great show. And as I said, I'll be sitting in with him. So that'll be fun. And then after that, there may be, I was asked to do a show with Lawrence Lau and Bill Timoney, who have done soaps. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say what it is, so I won't, but I may be doing something with them in January. I hope.
That's cool.
That would be great. So we'll see. I have no idea what's coming next. I just try to show up, and hopefully the Grease book will. It's an interesting history that, and it will be very interesting for fans of Ryan's Hope to hear the stories of people and what they went through being on the show.
Yeah,
very enlightening. Because it was not a happy experience for a lot of people.
It wasn't.
No, for some people who came there later or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to hear people's perceptions about. It was a very happy experience for me, although there were some days that were so difficult. I just leave there and I'd be exhausted, and only to have to return the next day.
Yeah.
And, your brain, but I was very young at the time, so my brain could taken a lot. I don't know if it could take in all that now, but.
What is your favorite role of everything you've done thus far? Is there one that's just your personal favorite, whether you just feel personally connected to that character or just all of the moons were lined up and everything worked out beautifully? Is there a particular
I
one?
have to say it probably was Roxy.
Yeah.
It probably was Roxy. I got the job the day before 9/11. 9/11 happened. I was supposed to, my agent was supposed to negotiate with them. I said, I'll go back to work for free if we negotiate today. And, and then 2 weeks later, I was there at work and I decided that, it's time to entertain the troops. And
Right.
It was really, I really felt like I was doing God's work by entertaining people at that very crazy time.
Crucial time.
He was in ruins, really.
Yeah.
And people were very scared. And I felt Roxy was a panacea for that.
Yeah. On so many different levels. Absolutely. Yeah. Extraordinary.
I felt very lucky. I mean, I've done other things on stage that I've liked, but I don't know if I've ever had as much fun as I had as Roxy.
You've also, since 1984, I think there's a theater that you have been a part of since 84, the Ensemble Studio Theater.
Yes.
Member of, huh?
Yes, I've been a member. It's a fantastic theater. They do amazing work, mostly original work that's never been done before. They do a lot of developmental work. I was on the board of directors for very many years. I just stepped off the board so someone else could have the experience of doing that.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful theater. I've done a lot of one-act plays there. I've done readings of things. I did a reading. I can't remember the name of the play. It's such a great play where I played a wrestler, a fairly well-known wrestler who's trying to make a comeback, being a woman of a certain age with her rival from the past, and they're the same age. And it's a very funny play. And I did that a couple of years ago there just as a reading, but I really liked it because it's a very funny character. Very, very funny. And very funny play.
That is so
great. It was called The Magnificent. God, I can't remember. But it's very, very funny. I don't know what's in store.
You're enjoying life. Yeah.
I live with Gary Donatelli. How could you not enjoy life?
Like I said, you got a spring in your step, literally. These are fantastic. Your photographer really captured.
Well, this is a famous photographer. This is Timothy White. Yeah. And this was for SoapNet, when SoapNet was breaking. And he did the most extraordinary pictures of everybody. I mean, and when I was gifted this, oh my God, and he had a different chair for everybody. And his bedside, or his camera manner, was so wonderful. He made you feel so incredible. Timothy White.
Yeah.
He's pretty famous.
This is a nice shot too.
Thank you. That was done by JPI Studio. They were wonderful. I mean, it was the whole 10 years of doing Roxy. They would fly me out to California. I was nominated for 2 Emmys. I was sitting. Now I was going to wear that to the Emmys, and the guy who was a stylist, he said, "You're not wearing that to the Emmys." I ended up wearing that to a drag ball. He said,
I love your reaction.
That's drag ball.
Your reactions are so classic. I love it.
You really did your homework, Jim.
I tell you, we did our digging.
It's a little scary, actually.
Well, here's one that isn't. Couple that aren't. What would the Ilene of today with all this knowledge and wisdom about life and all these experiences, say to this Ilene?
Be the kind person that, and I've been a kind person my whole life. So that Ilene was a kind person, and this Ilene is a kind person. What I would say to that Ilene is just appreciate every job that you have. And I really feel like I did. My first go round on Ryan's Hope, I left after 3.5 years. And I'm not so sure that I should have.
Somebody asked why you did. What was the reason? Yeah.
Because comedy was calling me.
Comedy was calling you.
Comedy was calling me, and it didn't work out that way. You know, I ended up going to California, but I sang with more rock groups than I ever did any, you know, and I was not a stand-up comedian. So, you know, you have to be able to go in there and get the job. And, you know, if they decide they're not laughing that day, they ain't laughing. And it's very hard in audition to show what you got sometimes. And now that was my father's creation. Vidal Sassoon created this haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And my father—
Is that a blunt cut? Is that what it is called?
Well, it's razored in the back.
Yeah.
My father had to learn how to do this because hairdressing changed overnight.
Yeah.
And my father had nobody to experiment on except his daughter. And my father cut my hair, and I was called little boy by more people in stores than I can tell you. Like, I'd be at the counter and yes, can I help you, young man? You know, because I didn't wear makeup at that time. And I remember I did the Bell Telephone Hour with that short haircut.
Right.
And it's the only place where that Bell Telephone stuff is, you know, with the short haircut.
Yeah.
But my father really learned how to do it, and then did that haircut on a lot of people.
Didn't Julie Andrews once have a cut like that at one time? I think I remember Julie Andrews having.
I mean, that was the Vidal Sassoon cut, and
yeah,
I'll never forget that. You know, I kind of said to my father, "You owe me one," but it, you know, it worked for what I mean. I grew it. I'm used to having a lot of hair. You know, I too much hair. But ever since I had that short haircut, I kind of said, you know, I'm not a short hair person. I'm a Leo. I need
you gotta have
mane.
the right, that lion's mane. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Why do you love doing what you do? What are some of the blessings and joys in your life that keep you going and keep your cup filled as you continue to pursue your passions and your art and share it with all of us?
Well, my goal is to entertain people, and that's what it was as an 8-year-old, and that's what it is as a year old. And I want to entertain people. It was never about finding an identity for Ilene, because I had a really happy childhood, and I had a lot of happy things, and would go to theater as a kid and everything. But I saw when I was so entertained by what I saw as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and when I saw I Love Lucy, and I went, I want to do that. I want to entertain people in that way. And so that's all I've tried to do. That's been my only goal. And you either like it, you like what I do, you don't. And I just try to entertain you and make you feel things. And that's what keeps me going. And that's what keeps me wanting to still perform, because I think people need to be entertained.
Yeah, right. And they need a laugh, and they need to know that empathy and kindness are still very important things in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
We sort of strayed from some of that. We're trying to bring it back.
Right. Yeah.
As much as we can.
Yeah. You know, in the late 80s, I went to work at a homeless shelter.
Oh, did you? That's beautiful.
And some of my kids that I work with who are 12 years old, they may actually be watching. So I want to give a shout out to Jesse Crawford and his wife Desiree, if they're watching.
Hello.
I don't know if my and I call them my sons, my son Antoine and Jesse. I felt like I had so many wonderful things happen to me that I wanted to introduce children who were in this homeless shelter to the performing arts. So I hired singers to come in, musicians to come in, artists to come in, people who could teach them acrobatics, and I would take them to the theater. And it's my way of being able to share. And these kids are still in my life. So a shout out to Sarah J, who was on Pose. She had a nice Pose. So and Antoine Robinson was on Ryan's Hope with me for about 6 months. And he played Antoine on the show. When Tashina Arnold was on, and there was a whole storyline about a homeless kid. And they, we have to give back in this business. And my last 4 years of Ryan's Hope were really wonderful. I had a fantastic time. They were much more special to me than my first 3.5 years there. I really got to love the job. The job always scared me. It scared me a little bit too much because I was playing a character that was so scared all the time. And then my last 4 years, the character had more confidence. She was still scheming and always coming up with schemes. But I had a lot more fun things to do. And that's really what I wanted to impart to the world.
Yeah.
To make people laugh.
Absolutely. One of our viewers, Larry, had asked about an audition for Saturday Night Live. My friend Gina is the floor manager there. Whenever they take a wide shot, you see her with the headset, always running around, because they got to go from scene to scene quickly. She's the floor manager there at SNL and has been for years. And I've worked with her on a PBS television special. Gina, I don't know if you met Gina, but she's a firecracker too.
Well, I had the worst experience of my life auditioning. Well, let me put it this way. In 1984, I had done a comedy review called Strange Behavior, and then I did Mayor. And Herb Sargent and a bunch of people came to see, and Bill Murray was there. I had done that, and I got in for Saturday Night Live in 84 and met with Dick Ebersol, and I met with everybody.
Lorne Michaels.
Well, no, Lorne Michaels was not there, which was actually good because I had auditioned for Lorne Michaels, and for whatever reason, Lorne didn't. I auditioned for him, and he gave back so little. But they're supposed to do that because you know. And since I'm not a stand-up comedian and I do characters, but I do characters that are usually, my gift was to be able to take sketch comedy and sometimes rewrite it. So
right.
I was not someone who really wrote. I don't do impressions, but I met with Dick Ebersol, and they looked at this tape, and they were quite serious about hiring me. Well, fast forward, they didn't, but I did get a note from Herb Sargent saying that Dick Ebersol regretted not hiring me. They hired Pam Stevenson, who did not last there that long, but she could do a great imitation of Billy Idol and Cyndi Lauper, and I probably couldn't have done that. So they strung me on for a while. I did not get it. But then flash forward, my first day back on Ryan's Hope in like 1986 or 87, I get a call that they want me to audition for Saturday Night Live. And I had nothing prepared, because I was starting and I had reams of monologues, and I should have said, no, I'm not going. But no, I said, I'll do this song, the song Heat Wave, Martha and the Vandellas, but I'll do it as a slow, funny striptease. Now, I know that sounds really strange, but I told them, though, the only way I would do that is if they would look at my tape. I had like about 6 characters on this tape. So I come into that audition after doing a ridiculous amount of work on Ryan's Hope, my first day back. And I run in there, and I bring my saxophone player and a boom box, and so Lauren looks at me, and I don't look at all familiar to him, even though I've auditioned for other shows for him. And I said, "Hi, my name is Ilene Kristen, but I know that you've seen this tape of me, you know." And he goes, "No. What are you going to do for us, Ilene?" And I proceeded to bomb, just bomb. Horrible. And I'm singing and I'm taking off a scarf, a thing. And so I'm down in a leotard, and it's like, is that what it was like, basically, that's what you got for us. I thought I'd make somebody laugh. I made the stagehands laugh. But here's the thing that's so amazing about this. It was terrible. It was awful. But I figured nobody would ever know about it, ever. And the next day, I come back into the ABC building, and I'm in the elevator, and there's a stagehand, Glenn, and he looks down at me and he goes, "Was that you at Saturday Night Live yesterday?" And I went, "Oh," and he went, "What were you doing?" I go, "Well, I didn't have a comedy thing prepared. I don't know." And I realized that it doesn't matter where you go, there you are, And I think that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life. The audition and the follow-up.
The follow-up. That's one that sticks with you, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it will never leave me, ever.
You mentioned comedy being really near and dear to your heart. Well, somebody that pops in towards the latter part, Ilene, that likes to say hello. Mr. George Burns is with us.
Well, okay. All right. I produced a very bad movie it was about
Did
George
you?
Burns. Well, yes. It was, yes. Frank Gorshin, brilliant.
Oh, yes.
Late, great Frank
Yes.
Gorshin.
Yeah.
He played George Burns in this movie. It was called Everything's George, but then it was changed to Angels with Angles. Don't even ask. My late friend wrote it, produced it, and then decided he needed to star in it also.
Yeah.
We had a lot of famous people in it. Jerry Mathers.
Yeah.
We had Adam West. We had a lot of old TV people. Rodney Dangerfield was in it, but Frank Gorshin was incredibly brilliant. And the movie was pretty bad, except for Frank Gorshin. But the wonderful thing about it was Frank was able to take the footage from this horrible movie and raise money and do his one-man show on George Burns on Broadway. So I am so happy that we did this movie and gave him the opportunity. And for the rest of his life, he had this thing that he could do all over.
Yeah.
All over the world. And
Exactly.
he was Frank Gorshin was a very special guy.
Absolutely.
His problem was he smoked too much.
Yeah.
And it killed him. It really, literally.
Yeah. So many people. Yeah, absolutely. He's got his cigar there, but he's got his red hanky. My aunt collected dolls, and this got passed down through the family to me. It's a collection.
I love it.
And he said you knocked it out of the park. He absolutely loved this conversation, and he really is a big fan of yours, and he sends his love, and from Gracie as well.
Oh, she was special.
I tell you,
very special.
He knew that she was really very important to the duo and to the series too. Burns and Allen show. She was.
Yeah.
When you look at those old shows,
they were a delightful combination. When she died, it left him really adrift. And I believe it was Jack Benny, who was still alive at the time, that was his good friend, and said, you can carry on your own. And Jack Benny really took him under his wing and got George Burns out there. And
We were
he had a
fan of him.
brilliant third act, a
He
brilliant,
really did. He was in the old God
brilliant.
movies, and you did you enjoy Phyllis Diller and that whole genre of comedians?
Oh, I love Phyllis Diller.
Yeah, I know. I miss her. I
I
miss
love Phyllis Diller.
Dangerfield, Phyllis, all of
Oh
them.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
love Phyllis Diller, but you know, I'm blanking on. Well, you know, Susie Essman was very funny when she used to do
Yeah,
stand up, and
yeah.
oh, a couple of other people. You know, of the. I actually got to see Robin Williams do an invited only set at the Improv out in LA when I
Oh,
had my
wow.
first month out there.
Yeah,
And it was just for about 30 people.
yeah.
And it went on for hours. And the
Wow.
man was such a genius.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
Thinking off the top of his head.
Yeah,
It was just, he was an absolute genius.
gifted.
Yeah.
Gifted on many levels.
Yes. Yeah.
As are you. And this was really a pleasure, my friend. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had. And
Oh, absolutely. Wow. I didn't even look at the clock. What time is it?
we're both East Coast here. We're almost neighbors, just about neighbors. It's almost 5 to 10. Did you
Wow.
eat dinner already?
No.
You didn't yet?
Gary made
Well, that's true. It is
chicken
New York,
soup.
so dinner is now.
Well, I wasn't going to eat while we were doing this, and I wasn't hungry before, but
now
I'm going
you've
to
worked up.
Gary Donatelli's chicken soup, which
Ooh.
you should all be very
I'm a
jealous.
soup person. Yes, I could have it all year
You'll all
long.
be very jealous of this soup because
What's
it's incredible.
What does he put in it? You know,
Well, eat chicken.
this is a food crowd. They love food.
Chicken and turnips
Oh, wow, that's good.
and carrots and celery and dill.
And
You can't have
dill.
chicken soup without dill.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah.
We're
I
heading
think
to
he put some
Eileen's.
butter in it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, you sang for your supper tonight. You have certainly earned
Thank
it.
you.
You
Well,
are
you're a delight.
Oh, thank you.
Boy, did you do your homework? Frighteningly so.
Ah.
Frighteningly so.
And our wonderful friend Madeleine too, connecting, and
Yes.
she's
Madeleine.
beautiful, and I know she's watching as well. And
Yes.
you're a delight. I hope we get a chance to break bread in person. We are
would
right here
love
in the
that.
tri-state area, and I'm going to keep the porch light on. Keep me posted on all the cool things you're doing, because you are definitely welcome back anytime, Eileen.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time. Really,
Oh,
really wonderful.
I
And
did
love
as
to
well.
everybody out there.
All the loveities. They already said you're a lovety. Isn't that cool?
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always say you can get Grammys and Emmys and Tonys and Peabodys and all these great awards. But when you
I
get a
wanna love it.
lovety on the Jim Masters show, most guests say their feet are tingling when they get designated a lovety. Are your feet tingling?
My feet, my brain,
Yeah.
my fingers.
That's because you're starving.
I am hungry,
That's
actually.
you.
Hungry. I did a Bikram yoga class today. I sweat out a lot of
You
salt.
worked.
So I'm
You
gonna
worked,
I'm gonna
but you
drink
had
all-
that green drink. Is the green drink gone?
No, the green drink
Oh,
is
it's
here.
half. Yes.
Yeah, this is
That's a-
matcha tea, everybody. It's
Isn't that
very
cool?
good for you.
She picked that tonight because she knew my birthday was this weekend. She knows I have Irish in me, and she knows my favorite color's green. That's why she's drinking that drink. You are amazing. You're intuitive.
I'm psychic.
You're psychic. Be well, my friend. You're
Thank
absolutely
you so much.
the best. And
And I want to come back, but I
Oh.
have new things to say.
Walter says she's a delight. Delight.
Thank you, Walter.
Larry says he loves you. Maureen in Arizona says, Eileen, this has been a delightful conversation. So much fun taking a trip back in time with you. May your star continue to rise, and God bless. Very, very beautiful. And Gary says, never a dill moment. Gary, you're Gary. See it on the screen? The soup man. He's the soup man from Seinfeld, isn't he? Never a dill moment.
Oh, that's
See what
great.
you started here?
Oh, that's great, Gary.
Kathleen Walker's in New York City. She says there was a treat meeting you. Eileen, you are so lovely. Happy to have you as part of our lovely family. So some nice
I am
comments coming in
honored.
from
I am totally honored.
Never a Dill moment. And Dwight says, love Eileen, a daytime legend. And tonight, a nighttime legend. You be well. Enjoy that soup,
Thank you.
my friend.
Thank you
And
so much.
we'll talk
And
again
when you
soon.
come into town, let me know so we can make a big pot of it.
Oh, I'm a soup
No,
person. Yes.
seriously.
Oh, yeah. I'll bring the
We'll get
bread.
together with Madeleine.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yes. That is an absolute date. And thanks for the kind words about, the show and everything. I really appreciate it. I try to make it
It's
conversational.
wonderful. And you really do your homework. And that's what we have to do in this life. We must do our homework.
That's it. And like my friend Doug Llewellyn from the People's Court said, who I've worked with for a long time, the whole key to all this, as we know, is a good moisturizer.
Absolutely. And I use this company, You Beauty.
Ooh,
You Beauty.
Beauty.
And a Korean woman started it. It's an American company, though, but she makes a very good moisturizer. It's the Super Hydrator.
The Super Hydrator. Next, you're going to see her in commercials for that, too. I can't wait.
Well, it's all online now. She has no commercials, but I would definitely do a commercial for You Beauty if I had the opportunity.
That would be good. That would be good. There's her website, too. You can check out cool things that she's working on and all the other fun stuff, great photos and more right there.
Not quite up to date, my website. It really isn't. It really isn't. On Facebook is the most up to date.
That's all the... Thanks for the kind words. I say that because my father always told us as kids and still says, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, Jim, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
I'll do whatever you want.
So true. You be well, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Much. Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye-bye. Isn't she amazing? Yes. And we spent some good time with her. And now she's going to have the soup. She's earned that soup. Never a Dill moment. Cool stuff. You guys are the best. Thanks for all the great comments. Welcome everybody that's new that is watching the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. If you are new to our series, this is what we do. We have good conversations, entertainment. Sometimes we have people who are performing live, drummers and singers and comedians. Sometimes we have authors. We have folks from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, child stars, chefs, sports stars, comedians. It's all about life. It's like an old school talk show you remember growing up with, but with a modern vibe and a modern twist of today. That's what we're doing here. And a lot of people say we're bringing back the lost art of conversation with these epic conversations. So now you got a chance to learn a little bit more about Ilene Kristen. Maybe you've been a big fan of hers over the years on all the soaps, the daytime dramas, maybe in her film work, maybe her stage work, maybe from the days of Grease on Broadway, whatever it may be. But now you know a little bit more about the person behind all of that, not just talking about the career and all the usual stuff that happens in, quote, interviews. We have conversations. We don't really call these interviews. Conversations go a little bit deeper. But, usually a lot of times people talk about the same stuff. Tell us about the movie, the new CD, the book, where are you performing, all that. We like to have good conversations where you learn about each other too. Sometimes you guys have these great conversations in the chat room as well. She really is class act, very funny, witty, and we're rooting for her to get a sitcom, right? All the producers out there listening, she is ripe for situation comedy and so much more. And again, she's got performances coming up and she's been doing this for a good long time and loving it. And we even pulled out that Gleam commercial and she had a cool story about that, which was great. Of course, you guys remember from Ryan's Hope and General Hospital and One Life to Live and Loving and Another World and Henry Street Henry and so much more. Of course, Grease. And don't forget to catch her when she is performing. Singer, songwriter as well. This is Ryan's Hope. We talked about these really cool images that we had here too. There she is there. This was the reunion with Grease which was fantastic. One Life to Live, of course, and there's Delia as well. Really great shots. And the cast from One Life to Live. No, this is Ryan's Hope. Yeah, this is the cast from Ryan's Hope. And really great stories too, And she loved playing Roxy. Yeah, good stuff, really. And don't forget, she mentioned this, which you can get on Amazon and Spotify, and it's a really great album too. So get that, pick that up as well. And she was great stories about playing Leona Helmsley and meeting Leona Helmsley when she was in the musical Mayor, and films and television shows. You see her everywhere. She really is fantastic. She's a personality, she really is. She's got a lot of vim and vigor. She loves life. And we absolutely loved having her here on the Jim Masters Show. Television, film, acclaimed stage actress, Broadway star, daytime drama, one of the most recognizable faces on daytime television in America. Ilene Kristen joined us here on the Jim Masters Show. If you missed any of this episode, feel free to watch it again and share it with a friend. That's really, really cool right here on the Jim Masters Show. And spread the word. We've done almost 800 episodes of our series, almost 800 shows as of today. You can binge watch all of them. They're all saved on our YouTube channel. So feel free to binge watch, go back and watch past episodes. Anybody that you may have missed, Loretta Swit was with us from MASH, and MASH is celebrating its 50th anniversary right now. Could you imagine that? So MASH, Loretta Swit, who was a star in MASH, of course, legendary actress, artist, author, animal welfare activist. She was with us recently here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show, and hundreds and hundreds more because of the amount of shows that we have done. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like on our YouTube channel as well. Leave a comment. We really appreciate that. We're very interactive here at the Jim Masters Show. So there's a thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up, and please do leave a comment. Say hello to us. Let us know what you enjoyed about this episode and all the episodes you enjoy of the Jim Masters Show. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There is a red button there that says subscribe. Doesn't cost anything when you subscribe. And when you subscribe, you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, home to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. We thank Ilene for gracing us with her presence, coming to us live from her home in New York City, where she is a native and she loves. Thank you very much. Kathleen just did a super sticker here. Thanks, Jim. Awesome show. Ilene is amazing. I agree. She certainly is. Isn't she? An amazing conversation we had. Warm and open, authentic, real, funny, all the things, poignant, moving, all the things that I really love to do here on this series. And we have a good time here with all of you and all of our guests, and we just have a terrific time. So thank you. That helps support the Jim Masters Show live series. We take that and we put it right into new light bulbs and content and all the other stuff that we do. And thank you very much. And also thank you, Jim, for your do. Great show as always. Have a great night. Got your card today, the birthday card. Thanks to all of you who sent birthday cards, gifts, who sent messages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for my birthday weekend. It was a beautiful birthday weekend. And I'm overwhelmed and blown away by all the levity from family and friends and relatives and my TV and radio and stage and film colleagues, viewers of this series, guests of this series. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for the cards, the gifts, the letters, the messages, the texts, the calls. Really, really very touching, and I really appreciate that so much. We've been doing this show for a long time, 2.5 years solidly, with viewers watching all around the world and almost 800 episodes, thousands of people watching on our YouTube channel. We continue to grow with all of you, and glad you're here for the ride. Thank you, Kathleen and Christine Clifton. Lovity Squad is exactly. We created the Lovity Squad 2.5 years ago. And we're going strong. Christine also says, wonderful show, Jim. The conversation, photo, video clips, we're going down memory lane for many of us. She's truly a fantastic actress. Thanks, Jim. Good night to you all and Lovities. You as well, Christine. Thanks for being here in North Carolina. And, prayers for everybody that's in Florida with that hurricane coming. Hopefully that won't be as bad. I'm going to be heading to Florida, actually, latter part of this week to Fort Lauderdale for a television shoot, big TV project. So we're going to be south of where the hurricane is, but still, it's headed towards that state. And we have family and friends there too. You might as well. We have colleagues there. So we're praying for everybody in the South that it isn't what they're saying it is. Larry, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to Lovity Hall and the Jim Master Show Live. Gang, spread the word if you enjoyed this. This is what we do here. We'd love to have you back for more episodes. We appreciate having you here. Dwight wants Adrian's med here. Yes. You've been waiting since last year. I know. We have guests lined up and so, but we would like to get him on. We would like to get him on, and we're working on that. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that as well. And everybody watching, Walter here and Roxanne Kaplan. This was delightful. Delightful. Thank you very much, Roxanne. It's a pleasure to have you here. Spread the word about our show, and I hope you'll join us regularly. We're here just about every day with our series, and it is a delight to present the series for all of you. And thanks for these great comments. Just looking through, we try sometimes, there's so many that go by fast. We don't get to see them all. Larry says, I will watch it again on YouTube. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And spread the word. If you guys, anybody that's new, good to have you with us, and all of our regular Lovities watching around the world. It's always a blessing to have you here as well. Maureen says, you get what you give, Jim. You deserve to be showered with lovity. Thank you. Just doesn't seem to be enough for all that you do for us. Well, thank you. That really touches me, and really appreciate those words, Maureen, coming to us from beautiful Arizona and southwestern USA. Gang, this was a pleasure. You even got a chance to see George Burns popping through here as well. The guests always get a smile when George Burns pops in towards the latter part. They don't always expect that, but it's cool. He's part of our Lovity Squad now. So, and as are you. This is your host, Jim Masters, here, thanking you, coming to you live from Lovity Hall in our studios of the Jim Masters Show Live series. We appreciate you being with us, and spread the word about our show. Give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the lovity, and we'll be back tomorrow with another great episode as well, and many, many, many more coming your way. Working hard behind the scenes to give you the best that we can with a smile. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later, ciao, cheers, slancha, shalom, sayonara. We say auf Wiedersehen, hasta la vista, be well, more loop, take care. And for all of those of the Jewish faith, Happy New Year to you as well. And because it is the Jewish holiday, and so we send our love. And thanks for being with us all around the world, gang. We'll be back on another one. And Crystal here says, good night, Jim and Lovities. Thank you, Jim, for another amazing show. And Crystal, thank you for that beautiful gift and the package that you sent for my birthday. Very special. You are absolutely amazing, my wonderful friend. I thank you very, very, very much. Very, very much. Just curious, do we now say thank George instead of thank God? You could probably say both. Thank God for George. All right, gang. You guys are the best. All right. We shall see you on the next one, okay? We always have lengthy goodbyes here. That's because we don't have goodbyes. We have see you later, like I just said. So we don't have really goodbyes. We say see you later. Just taking a look at a few more comments coming in, and you guys are great. So thanks for the super chat with Kathleen and your support of our show. That's something that's always available during the live shows in our JMS Levity chat room when the show is live. If you ever want to support us and help what we're doing here, there's a little heart icon on all the episodes on our YouTube channel, and it's called Super Thanks. You can click on that, and that helps support us as well here at the Jim Master Show and all the work that goes on. Thank you, Crystal. That was beautiful what you sent. Really, really. We opened all the gifts over the weekend. I was going to say the holiday weekend, but the birthday was like a holiday weekend in a way. And anybody, all of you who've sent cards and gifts, just really thank you so very much. It just added to the birthday. And we had 3 cakes. I don't know if you saw the photos posted on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but we had 3 cakes. Whew, I didn't expect that. We were all caked out. There's some slices that are still frozen too. You know, we had to put some in the freezer. Can't eat it all at once, right? Wow, really amazing. Caked out, but they were delicious. Every single one of them was absolutely delicious. What's delicious too is coming here and doing this show with all of you, gang. So, all right, that's enough talking for me. I'm going to just got a little ginger ale in this glass. She had that green drink, the green tea, which was kind of cool. So I toast you. Cheers to all of you, wherever you're watching around the world. Have some ginger ale or something else refreshing. We toast all of you. We thank all of you. And we appreciate all of you for being here as well. It means the world to us. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Be well. Take care. Yes, Walter. Yes, good eye. Good eye. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Good to see you, Walter. Walter Ian K. Cool name. I like that name. All right, Walter. Pleasure having you here and everybody on the Jim Master Show. We'll see you again soon. We'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow we're here at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific with David A.R. White, who is the founder of PureFlix and a great actor and so much more, and some unbelievable guests that are coming up, lined up for the future. I can't say yet. Thank you, Walter. Welcome to the Jim Master Show. Really cool to have you here and everybody. But we'll see you on the next one. Be well, take care, and cheers.